Hello, good afternoon to the fellow people of Valhalla League. It is your boy Blubber Ducky here on the cast, and I'm joined by the one and only, the Ice Age owner, the man, the myth, the legend, Mammoth, over here spectating, and I believe he's going to be joining with me on the cast.
That's me.
Yep. So I hope that. Whoa! I actually had the stream on.
I thought I was gonna have to hoard up 50,000 points in your stream to get that kind of intro.
Right. So, but anyway, super excited for us today. I actually get to cast the team that I am a owner for, and that's the Pteroducktyls, obviously, with the best logo in all of Valhalla. Definitely above Ice Age. That is fact. But today we're starting it off. Really super excited for this set coming up. I know that the Pteroductyls have been going through a little bit of growing pains. They were off to a really strong start through the beginning of this season. Kind of hitting some little growing pains right now. It's trying to relearn and remesh with everything. And as of today, they're trying out something different in the ADC role. Ordered Mess is going to be playing in the carry for them today. I'm not sure what the situation behind that entirely is, even though I probably should be a franchise owner and all.
Probably.
But I just kind of let them do their thing, right? And on the other side, we got the Nightly Koalas, really solid team that is still, they're struggling to find their footing a little bit, but overall in general, really solid roster with GillerKav, Devil's Wolf Pup, Misaki. I can't even really say
I
that.
think
Mr.
so.
the Joe and Bunny over in the ADC. So we got our league owner, Mr. the Joe, over in support. So one of the foreheads, I gotta roast him on this cast a little bit, give him a hard time, and since that is my boss. And but yeah, super excited for everything going today. And Mammoth, if you have any comments on either of these teams here, I mean, what do you think about this matchup today?
Honestly, I think it'll be pretty good. The Koalas have been looking a bit better recently. Excited to see Joe in support.
Mm, me
The
too.
Ducks are favored just off of looking at standings alone, 3-2 to 1-4. But I think it'll
Right.
be a good set.
I think it will be as well, and definitely this set's going to be really strong for both of these teams as well, because the Koalas, they gotta find their footing. They gotta get it. They gotta get a win off of the Pteroductyls. They're over in they're in a little bit of a rough spot right now as well. They lost last week after a 3-game win streak. They lost week 1, 3-game win streak, lost, and then they've been kind of finding their footing in scrims and stuff like that. So this is going to be a really good set to make sure that they even everything out, get everything going, and get back on the right track to try to get themselves back up in the standings. I just accidentally hit my mic. So, but yeah, whenever Mammoth is ready, or whenever they're all ready, of course, we're going to be getting into picks and bans here, which I know there's going to be some new things coming out today. I've heard from both sides, from Koalas and from the
Ooh.
Pteroductyls. I've been doing a little bit of talking, so I'm interested to see what's going to come out here as well. And I'm super excited. I like the little bit of changes that the Koalas have done. They had Devil's Wolf Pup playing over in support, but now they did a little bit of a swap, and now Wolfie's going to be playing over in the jungle, and then Mr. the Joe back over into support. I call him the king. I love Joe, and actually, I just love that whole the Koalas roster, to be completely honest. So like,
Yeah.
this is a really good set for me to cast, and I'm super excited because I love everybody on both sides. So, but
Yeah.
I think
Neither team are guaranteed in the gauntlet yet, I believe. Koalas are
mm,
close. If they lose this, I think that guarantees their spot in the gauntlet.
mhm.
But Pteroductyls are still a bit away from the gauntlet, but there are also a lot of 3-2 teams in Loki division right now.
Oh yeah,
Kittens, Ice Age, Ducks, and Far Out and Ghost. That's 5 of the teams that are 3-2 right now.
yeah. And the thing is that what I'm really excited for is like whenever we like those teams that are going to be in the gauntlet, like the one you keep going. It's like a little best of one. And wait, hold on, I just got pinged. Uh yeah, so Joe just asked us. Yes. So
Yep, we are
sorry.
good. Yeah, we're good
I
to
saw
go.
a message from the boss man. I got a little scared. So
You're like, oh no,
so I was like,
am
oh,
I in
no.
trouble?
And I was like, all right, did we say something wrong? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so I'm super excited for what's to happen here. Honestly, man, it's a question. With everything that we've seen in the SPL and stuff like that, do you think we're gonna see 9 benevolences for pre-patch?
I
Do you think the Loki boys are
wouldn't
gonna do
be
it?
surprised. I don't want to because I don't want mid laners buying that item because I think it's boring. But we are now in picks and bans.
All right, super excited for that. And as we see, Koalas are going to be having the first pick here. So I don't know if we're going to see some target bans heading towards the way of the Pteroductyls, or if they're going to try to play for the Morgan Le Fay or Tiamat or even Gilgamesh. And as we see Tiamat being the first one that's going to be taken out over here for the side of Nightly Koalas. Morgan Le Fay being taken out for Pteroductyls. This is so simple. This is easy.
Pretty easy bans.
Right. I mean,
I'm surprised Tiamat
let's
getting banned by the Koalas. You feel like you would want to make the second pick ban it just because Tiamat's really good?
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is that I love how people say that I don't ever want to hear an argument that mages aren't OP whenever there's like 4 of them that are always top banned.
Yeah.
So I want to get that out of the way. We want to make sure that we all know.
I am not at
Let's
a
get this out
point
of
in
the way,
Smite
chat.
right now where I will say
Yeah.
mages are not OP.
Yeah, so it's mages are definitely OP right now. As we see Gilgamesh, Athena being taken out, Artemis being taken away for the side of the Pteroductyls. Also a really strong ban that we've seen. Artemis has been making her way back into the meta, solidifying as a top ADC bow build, getting that stem from your 2 and all the extra, you gotta love it, right?
It's days like today where I wish I was in carry because I could just play Artemis every time.
Right. And remember all last season, I was telling Kenny to let me play Artemis, and he never let me play Artemis.
And he never let you do it. Now look at this. Artemis is the top ban.
Exactly. I don't know. It's like I'm just ahead of the curve.
And the top pick is going to be the Kukulkan.
It's an interesting pick up there for GillerKav, and I know that really strong pick for him there. And the Pteroductyls, as we saw, taking away the Odin, which is also, once again, a really strong pick. And it looks like the Pteroductyls are going to opt to take the soul pick here.
And
it looks like they're going to hover and lock in a Fafnir here for Aztec Warrior. And I know I've been trying to help him a little bit with the Fafnir, but I've been told that I have to put it in the locker for now. But Yamoja being picked up for the side of Nightly Koalas. Super excited to see what's going to happen here. I know that if Soul is in her 3, her Separate, that she'll be able to go through the Yamoja, the River's Rebuke being pulled out here. So I'm excited to see what Joe is going to be able to do on this Yamoja. I'm excited for the support battle here, if I'm being completely honest with you, because like I've helped Joe here and there, and also helped out Aztec a little bit here and there, and helping coaching this Pteroductyls team. So
and a Discordia pick.
Yeah, I mean, hey. Where's Bastende at? Somebody call up Bastende so we can get him in on this, because that man is like his favorite god with Discordia. But
locking in the Rama as well.
Being taken away. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be taken away, if that's a pick that Ordered Mest really likes, or if that's something that they want to take away from Bunny, because we know that Bunny plays a lot of Rama.
Yeah, with the Fafnir, it's really good with the Soul too.
Absolutely. And so I think that they're definitely playing around that like early objective fight, stuff like that, and be able just to burn these objectives down. You have Soul, you have Rama, and they can honestly push the note for that. And I definitely want to see like some little bit more aggression if they're going to be, because they got to go for this jungle solo pick coming up. And
a Bastet ban.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Hombre play Bastet, but it is what it is. But
a lot of jungle bans coming out.
Well, yeah, I mean, jungles are, pretty OP.
I think the Ducks just need to pick a jungler right out of this phase if they want their priority pick of the litter. With Gilga, Bastet, Hunbat's Fenrir, arguably Odin.
Right. I mean...
And then the Loki.
Yeah. In all reality, I think both of those jungle picks that the Koalas took away is really strong into a Discordia and just being able to take her out.
Yeah.
And granted, a lot of things are strong into Discordia, but I think Misaki Misaki. I don't know. I'm gonna say Misaki because I think that's right. I think I struggled with this. I think I casted a set last week, and I think I struggled with this as well. But anyway, we see a Hunbats, we see a Fenrir being taken out.
Mulan being hovered.
I hate it.
Well, so do they because they swap it out for the Sun Wukong.
Okay, so there we go. It's a strong pick going in for Weiss, more traditional solo laner. He wants to try to be a bully. We're gonna see a really hard boxing match between the Koalas and the Sun Wukong there, and Izanami
there's gonna be
being
boxing.
hovered for the side of Nightly Koalas. For Bunny, as we've seen, Bunny really likes these auto attackers that are able to hit the wave and the other ADC with the Rama and Izanami being played a lot. And I don't set being rounded out for the Koalas here, which I'm excited to see Wolfie being able to play that set.
Yeah. We live in a world where set can be ninth picked. It's a
mean,
good world to live in.
That's the way that
for so long was set top picked.
And as we see Erlong Shin now being locked in as the Ducks' final roundabout for their draft, it to me, it's a lot of pressure, and I think that they could potentially try to push the note here. While with Koalas, I feel like it's I think they'll get pressure in ADC lane, maybe. I mean, if Joe actually uses the bubble and the stuns correctly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think they could put a lot of pressure on this Fafnir Rama, and Izanami has like the best level 1 clear in the game in my honest opinion. So
very much so.
And so I think that I don't really know which draft I actually like better. Probably, I mean, I'm not a fan of the Discordia pick, but every time that I've said that I don't like a pick in a draft, they're usually the ones to prove me wrong, and they frag out. So I'm a little scared with that sentence, me saying that I don't like the Discordia pick here. But overall, in general, I mean, it could be biased, but I do like the Ducks draft. And I know that they've been working on something. They've been trying to mesh a little bit, and I think that this comp, is, I don't want to say execution heavy, but I think that their fight around objectives has been needed to be cleaned up for the past few weeks, and I think that this comp will kind of help them with that, and because they're gonna be able to shred it and all this other stuff. Erlong is a really strong auto attack jungle, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Rama Soul. So I think that they could just absolutely burn objectives. So if I'm on the side of Koalas, I want to make sure that I have their side warded up. I make sure that I'm fighting around these objectives and making sure that we have the vision and that we're ready to go. And but other than that, I mean, they could sneak one out from underneath their noses, as we're getting into game 1 right now. And I don't. Did we already do the put up vote in chat? I didn't see if we already did.
I did see it go up. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So I just wanted to double check on that.
Yep.
And yeah, man. I don't really know what else to say. I'm excited because
all right. So far we've only got 2 benevolences.
This is
that's all we're gonna see.
I'm gonna be honest with you, even in the rank scene, like everybody's building benevolence. It's just like the gold spool. I was playing over in mid, and I had a Raijin. I had 4K more gold than the rest of the team. I was just like, it's nuts. Like, it was absolutely insane. I had 18,000 gold at the end of the game. The next highest was at like 13. And so I was just like, it was kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. And, as we see, the only side that we're getting benevolence is for both supports, being Mr. the Joe and Aztec. And, I'm looking, and Joe opts for Blink on the Emoja, which is interesting to me because I don't think that they kind of botched the early red buff there, but I don't think that Blink is necessarily a necessity for the Emoja. And the same thing for Aztec going Blink on Fafnir. I would like to see a Sunder, maybe for both of those gods. Because with Fafnir, it's really easy. You hit a hammer and then you Sunder almost immediately, as we do see an
early purification bead.
An early wave 1 gank coming in for the side of the Pteroducktyls, trying to put a little bit of pressure on the Misaki over there in the mid lane on this Discordia pick. And but I mean, still going in on these support picks here, I do think that Sunder would be the better option because, I mean, I think that you get a little more value out of it. And
Ooh,
as we see,
big
first blood being pulled out, XWhiteHombrex gets a kill on the TheDevilsWolfPup. And you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's giving a first blood over to Erlong Shin with the mannequins, and you know, I think he's going into a crusher right now.
He's looking to snowball early, and he got it.
Yeah, he definitely wants to. You know, when you especially whenever you kill a set from behind is really rough, and so that's something that they have to, you know, be a little bit careful for. Wolfie definitely needs to get the farm up. Is over on the side, GillerKav is really low. All this could call it right now, as we do see. I mean, the different ops for starting. You know, we see the fighter's mask for the side of the Koalas, and we see the bluestone for Weiss on the Sun Wukong, and you know, still, I mean, like I said, no benevolences, not too bad, but a little shaking my head.
Only the
there,
ones on supports.
Yeah, you know, I'd say, what are we doing here? This is no bush league.
Ooh,
Weiss
solo
gets a kill
kill.
over the solo lane, and
as
now,
they go to engage on duo.
Over in the mid lane, it does look like that now there's a little bit more pressure now. I mean, across the board, I think the Pteroducktyls are just kind of putting the pressure, putting this note on them that you got to make sure that they're not really able to breathe.
Yeah, do not step to us early.
Exactly.
And if you're going to, do it right.
And I think that that's exactly what the Ducks are looking for right here, and you know, they're doing a pretty good job of it so far. And as of right now, you know, we do see Vamp Shrouds for both mid laners. And then, interesting enough, for the side of the ADCs, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the Mannequin Scepter.
Neither am I.
But I think that Izanami does benefit from it essentially. But I think I think Mannequins on ADCs is more of like I'm gonna box you early, and you know, that's I think it's a cheese item in ADC. But in all reality, I don't think it benefits you that much in late, rather than like a Hunter Cowl giving you the extra attack speed stem whenever you're around your teammates, which would benefit Izanami as well with the stem in her one and so on and so forth. So I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but it does apply a lot of early pressure for this Nightly Koalas team.
Ooh, another good gank, all coming out from Soul. Discordia oh, okay, Discordia does fall. Almost dropped it.
You know, and as of right now, they're definitely putting a lot of pressure over into this mid lane right now. You know, both the jungle and mid are both starting off 0-1, and Low for Life right now has roughly a level and a half lead on this Discordia. Level 6 right now. The Discordia still has yet to hit 5, and we are seeing that it looks like that XWhiteHombre wants to look to get a little bit of pressure over here, but it's a good call to not be over there because Ordered Mess is kind of in his own tower, not level 5 just yet, and about a quarter HP. So
yeah,
good play by them, good communication. And you know, the thing that the Ducks really need to do is, of course, whenever you get these early picks and so on, is to put more pressure. You know, you could take the pressure, but now to put the pressure into their jungle.
Yeah.
And if you're the side of Nightly Koalas, you want to make sure that you're on time for your buffs and stuff like that, because if you're dying close to around your buff timers coming up, then those things are going to be taken, you know, just like that. And so if there's a time that you want to die, it wants to, you know, you definitely don't want to die whenever your buffs are coming back up.
Yeah, you want to die about a minute left until they respawn. Gives you plenty of time to get back there, clear your wave.
We are seeing a little bit of a boxing match, as we were talking about in the pre-game. And as of right now, I mean, they're just kind of going in on each other, as we do see Wolfie now coming in for a little return gank. And as of right now, Weiss is just able to bird form out, and he's out of there.
Beads forced on bunnytush.
You know?
Just didn't take anything from the Erlang, just one straight pin, and he's the only one there.
No. And now they're going to see a purple buff invade for the side of the Pteroducktyls now. And, you know, if you're Koalas, you got to keep a timer on that, and you got to be there 30 seconds, 45 seconds ahead of time to make sure that you're able to get there for the next rotation.
And they're just going to look right at Bunny again.
And they're getting a little bit of a bait here, as now they're going to bait out the dash, as they are seeing, and there goes the dash on Bunny. Excuse me.
Pin off the mark, and Bunny's just going to walk away.
And, okay.
And an invade on the blue buff as an invade on the purple buff happens.
I mean,
the Ducks are just applying pressure everywhere now. They've taken their lead in mid and ran with it.
Yeah, exactly. And as of right now, we're still probably hovering closer to a 2-level lead. But those assists, I mean, Low for Life being a part of 3 of the 4 kills so far, really, really good thing for him right now. And you want to make sure that they push the note and continue to just apply this pressure here.
Already a 2,000 gold lead
Yeah,
at
we're
6.5
6 minutes into the
minutes.
game, and as of right now, I mean, it's a so like I mean, we look and Joe has a little bit of a lead over in support, but that's perfectly fine because if you're sacrificing a little bit of farm, if you're the side of Aztec, as we are seeing that Joe might be in a little bit of trouble here. Ultimate coming out for him, and oh my goodness, that's a
Oh,
lot of damage, and down he goes. Rivers Rebuke coming out, and unfortunately, that's not going to keep them away. Mr. Joe is going to be sent back to the fountain now, and you know, the thing that I was kind of still mentioning there was, if you're playing over in support, it's okay to sacrifice a little bit of farm
definitely.
to help feed the farm to the rest of your team there. And so a little bit of a lead deficit is not a big deal, especially if you're about a half a level to a level down. It's not really a big deal as long as the rest of your team is applying pressure elsewhere, as we are seeing now over into the solo lane. It does look like that Giller is getting ganked at the current moment, and he might just be able to walk out unless they want to dive him in the tower, which I don't think is going to happen.
No.
I am like all over the place with my voice right now. But yeah, I mean, if you're Koalas, you definitely got to just find a way. You find your footing in
Stem
this
the
early
bleeding.
game. Make it towards the middle. Yeah, make it towards the middle and to the late game, because as of right now, it's not looking too hot, and they, like you said, they got to stop the bleeding somehow, some way, and be able to get their farm, get online a little bit, get some items, get going, and then once they're able to get going, and there's not really as much of a deficit, maybe they can start trying to play around objectives, because as of right now, with the Ducks team comp, they could literally just burn objectives super fast, as we've already seen. Now the gold scorpion is taken out, and it looks like that they want to get ready for this gold fury here shortly. And if Koalas aren't in the position for it, then this lead is just going to keep going and going and going, and they're going to find themselves in even more of a deficit.
Yeah, I would like to see the Ducks just as soon as that Fafnir ult is up, just walk right at the Gold Fury. Just big course your Rama Soul Erlong Shen. That's just gonna disappear.
Yeah, and the thing is that like, Gold Fury is really strong, and if you don't have if you don't have a fully stacked Gauntlet of Thebes, it hurts being in support. I'm gonna be completely honest. It hurts, and it sucks, especially if you don't have like the best burn in the world. But I think that with the Ducks comp here, I do think that they are able to do it
with triple auto attackers.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're seeing a little bit of
and with everybody going right lane, they should just walk at this Gold Fury.
Yeah, I don't think this is a really good heads-up play for the side of Koalas, because right now Weiss is just buying time, and as we look now, Gold Fury being pulled for the side of the Pteroducktyls, and it looks like they ordered Mess one at the back, but Fafnir ult is out, and they are burning this Gold Fury down as Weiss just causes
Weiss dies, but this
now,
is okay for Weiss.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I mean, you still have a little bit of a lead, and that's not really a big deal. And now Gold Fury being taken down for the side of the Pteroducktyls, and that benefits them more than anything. And unfortunately, they don't want to be caught. Like the Koalas do not want to be caught on the right-hand side of the map whenever Gold Fury is up and the other team has a lead. And so, that's just a little unfortunate. But at the same time, they probably are helping out Giller a little bit. But in return, I mean, we got about a 4K deficit right now, and they gotta do something about this Soul getting online right now, because
Soul is level 12 at 10 minutes.
We got about a 2.5 to 3 level lead. 2-0-2 for Low for Life right now, and we already have that Charon's coin online, and I'm being completely honest, it's gonna hurt. I mean, if we could try to get a peep at how much gold is in hand right now. For the side, and he has 1,600 gold. He's able to finish off his items coming up here shortly, and once he's able to back, maybe I don't know if he's going to go for a Desolation or if he's going to go Spirit of Magus, but I mean, as of right now, we're
big stun from the Fafnir.
Yeah, they're going to come out over here, and now it looks like that Giller might be in a little bit of trouble, as he is trying to just walk away, and that right side tower is non-existent right now, as we are seeing now Low for Life trying to go ham, and now
solo kill
on the Misaki. And pulls out the golden apple, and unfortunately, that's not enough to save the life there, as now they're trying to dive over on this T2 tower, And now they're going to back away. And Pyromancer now is the call for the side of the Pteroductyls as they are ahead 7-1 in about, I don't even know. I don't like doing math on cast, but Mr. the Joe might be in a little bit of trouble here as now he falls to White Ombre. And now 3-0
That
and
is a
1.
Pyromancer going to fall.
And now
Just
this
for
Golden's
some
just gonna
reference
take
in
even
mid,
more.
Low almost has 200 gold per minute ahead of Misaki.
Yeah, that's
They're 5k up at 11 minutes.
yeah, it's a little rough for them right now, but the bias side of me is really happy for the way that the Pteroductyls are playing, but from of course the casting standpoint, I want the Koalas to try to pull themselves back into this and really be able to just take their farm, because I mean right now Misaki is just kind of standing around in mid. I think rights are available. You could take those right camps, take the mid wave, go and
Right
take
mids
back
are
camps.
up, backs are up, yeah.
We got to be able to farm efficiently here to pull yourself out of this. Standing in the mid lane and only taking your mid wave is not going to bring you back into this game. And so I think once we get a little bit farming efficiently and correctly, I think that they'll be in definitely a better spot right now. Because overall across the board, I mean, we have about a level lead over in ADC for Ordered Mess, a little bit of a level deficit for Aztec, about a 2.5 to 2 level lead for Low for Life over in the mid lane, about a level lead and a level lead. Like it's just we're super. It's kind of even across the board, but I think mid is in the biggest deficit right now.
Yeah.
And
Misaki
as long
just
as we're able to get
isn't
that farm
taking
online,
any farm other than mid lane.
yeah. And if I'm the side of the Ducks here, I definitely want to take more fights. I want to try to put more pressure onto their camps and strip away their farm and really be able to take it away from them here, as we have Gold Fury that's spawning up here shortly. They're taking out this mid tower, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. So this is kind of they're in the spot that they want to be in at the current moment. And so I would definitely play around duo a little bit more here, because you have a pretty good lead over in solo. That right side tower is already down. I'd play over into duo, try to get this Izanami behind a little bit. 0-0 and 0 for the side of Bunny. Same thing for your ADC. Maybe get an Ordered Mess into these fights a little bit more. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And Hammer's just a little bit off the mark, and now Bunny's just going to be able to dash away. And Beads and Aegis, both actives, are available along with an ultimate. And this Oni Fury is going to be spawning here shortly. And then if I'm being honest, I don't know how Koalas are going to really be able to defend this. And so unless the Ducks just absolutely throw and they don't take a proper fight and stuff like that, then I think that this could be really hurtful. So that's one of the things that they need to figure out is, do they want to defend this, or do they want to continue to farm and split off elsewhere, or if they want to try to steal it. But I don't really think that there's anything on the side of Koalas that's going to be able to steal the Oni Fury. I mean, you got a Izanami ult, maybe? I mean, I don't really know what they have to exactly steal. So it's
Forcing the soul under tower, but Giller might just die for it.
I don't think he will. He does have a long way to go, because there is no T1 tower as I thought that they did, but the golden apple now coming out, and it does look like that Ordered Mess wants to get his hands dirty and get into this fight a little bit, as now it looks like that Wolfie might be in a little bit of trouble.
Ramastunn's just off the mark.
Weiss is able to take him down as Wolfie does fall, and now Bunny split pushing and taking on this left side T1 tower, which is, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. But now Bunny's backing, and this might just leave up for a free Oni Fury here, and that's exactly what happens.
Oh, Aztec with the blank, though. That's
hot blink there, brother. But as of right now, Oni Fury is spawned, and
Oni Fury is gonna fall.
And if
Misaki gets the kill onto White Hombre, though.
I mean, they just kind of let Misaki walk up.
Yeah,
that wasn't very good spatial awareness for the side of the Ducks there, but Misaki just able to walk up and get a free kill on White Hombre and able to get, I guess you can say it was a shutdown. I don't know if exactly it was 3-0. I mean, that's a shutdown, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And so
you're on a killing spree at that point.
Yeah. And so, I mean, as of right now, like that's really good for Misaki. That's exactly what you want, and able to get out and live, able to get some gold now, and probably get some more items online, stuff like that, and yeah. So I mean, right now they're still in a really tough situation. They have to take care of these Oni waves, and as of right now, the Pteroductyls need to make sure that they ward up this right side, this fire giant area, and definitely they want to take a fight. And somewhere, somehow, some way, is you want to find a pick and get that, and then put more pressure onto them.
Yeah.
Pull a fire giant here shortly, and and it looks like that's exactly what they want to do here. Excuse me. I'm a
The
little
Ducks
tired today.
are posturing around the fire giant. Ordered Mess isn't there yet, but they can still take the fight.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they want. Is I mean, Lowe's trying to pull the Pyromancer by himself, and it looks like this Pyromancer is just going to be as free as can be, unless Killer wants to come in and cause a little bit of havoc here and taking a fight. As we do see the River's Rebuke, and they are able to steal the Pyromancer, but it might just cost them their lives, as now they're just leaping away, and Giller might just be as good as dead here. Ordered Mess now gets his kill.
Oh,
First
Joe
kill
gets
forward.
caught out.
Mr. the Joe is able to escape with a really good riptide, able just to get himself out of there. But right now,
This might just be a fire giant, though.
yeah, koalas are super poked out, and over on the left-hand side, you have Bunny. There's nobody else around, and
But they're just back. Okay.
I mean, we're 17 minutes in. I think Fafnir ult is available, but he just already used it. It's going down. So, I mean, understandable. Want to back, maybe get some more items online, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. I prefer a safe play rather than a dumb, reckless play in cost. So
That's fair.
I'm perfectly okay with that. And it looks like they want to get a rotation here on the Bunny, which Izanami's like a really hard god to gank in general, just because like you just have the invisibility, you have the dash.
If anything,
also,
they can
like,
just force her back, and then they take the towers on this side.
Yeah,
with
and
the
I mean,
waves.
you definitely want to put more pressure on this left-hand side, because then it would make it to where Bunny doesn't have anywhere to go to, if Bunny decides to go for a split push, and that's exactly what they're looking at right now.
Yeah, now they know she's gone, so this is a free tower.
Absolutely. So left side T1 does fall, and I mean, as of right now, they still want to play for picks, but koalas are pulling themselves back into this. I mean,
Yeah, they've stemmed the bleeding. They've shortened the gold bleed a little bit, down to 4K.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, like they're in a better spot than they were a few minutes ago.
Yes.
And so this is as bad as it may seem now. In a few minutes, it's not going to be that way. And I hope that they have like a good understanding of that, and that the mentals are strong, because on paper it doesn't look the best. 2-10 right now. Nobody really able to find their footing, but the positive thing for them right now is that Bunny has been completely on level with Ordered Mess here on this Rama, which is really big for them in team fights. And so if you're the side of Pteroducktyls, you want to make sure that you have tabs on this Izanami, who has been uncontested this entire game.
Yeah.
Free farm and stuff like that, whatever. So you definitely want to put more pressure on her there. But the thing is that if you do that, now that leaves it open for Misaki on this Discordia, which Discordia free casting is kind of scary. And he's completely caught up in level. Maybe not necessarily in the item advantage, but in level, we're getting close. And everybody right now is, it's almost evened out across the board right now, and with a little bit of a deficit over in the solo lane. But other than that, it's pretty even now. And so like these are the fights that Koalas definitely wants to take, and they want to make sure that they're grouped. And if I'm them, I'd put a little bit of pressure on the Soul, because you don't want that Soul just a free reign in these fights, because that's definitely terrifying. Because I mean, Low and Weiss are leading the player damage charge right now, and then it's a huge drop off. We got about a 4,000 damage difference, and then another 4,000 damage difference going down over to Ordered Mess here. So the big factor for them right now is taking out that Soul for Low for Life, and then focusing their way through the rest of the team here.
The longer these fights go too, the better it's going to be for the Koalas, because
absolutely
there's only a Pestilence and a Toxic Blade on the side of the Ducks, and the Toxic Blade's on their Hunter.
They do have a Cursed Ankh, which I do like, being able to spam that, because it also helps with the set.
Yeah.
With the set ultimate, so it kind of screws over the set and also the Yamoja. So if they're all grouped up all together and you pop that Cursed Ankh while the set is ulting, it also goes against the set, and then whenever the Yamoja is spamming the heals, then it goes on to whoever the heal is going on as well. As right now, Fire Giant being pulled and leashed, but I think that the Ducks are just looking for a fight here, as they're all just grouped up into one spot. This would be a really good, if Joe's able to get off a Rivers Rebuke here, that could definitely change the fight.
Yeah.
But if
Also
they're
a
trying to win
big
the poke
strike
war,
from Misaki.
yeah, if they're gonna try to win the poke war here, they're not gonna win it. Just with the sustain that they have with the Yamoja, they're not gonna win the poke war. So if anything, excuse me,
A lot of
need to try
damage
to
coming out
commit.
onto the Wukong.
As we see a Cursed Ankh coming out here, and now it looks like they want to go in, and Rivers Rebuke being pushed out. And right now it looks like that Misaki might be in a little bit of trouble, but big damage coming out. Rama Snipes are coming out. Ordered Mess able to take him down. Low HP bars across the board as bunnytush now gets the kill on the Weiss. And as of right now, Aegis are being forced out as Ordered Mess cancels out the
Beautiful
dash,
cripple
and he's
shot.
continuing to try to go in. And as now XWhiteHombrex gets the kill on TheDevilsWolfPup, and they
Beautiful cripple shot by Ordered Mess to stop the dash from the Izanami.
Absolutely huge, but I mean, as of right now, the Ducks win the trade, but there's no health bars for them, and Pyromancer is just going to be the call here. That was a really good Rivers Rebuke by Mr. the Joe, getting everybody separated out there, and you know, that was a really good play by them. And unfortunately, three of them did end up falling, and I think that Gold Fury is going to be the call here for the Pteroducktyls, and you know, I think Ordered Mess definitely changed that fight. with his play there, and but at the same time, Low did crank out a lot of damage there and kind of freed them up a little bit, which is kind of the thing that I was saying, is that you want to try to get onto the Soul, because he still has yet to die, but has been just pumping out numbers, and that's exactly what he did in that last fight, and he lived with more than 3/4 health, and so. That's the scary thing about it. That's the scary thing about the Soul pick, is exactly that. And, you know, you have these two auto attackers with the Soul and the Rama, and, you know, I don't really know how much of a benefit they got from the Fafnir in that last fight, but, I mean, as of right now, I want to see Aztec have a little bit more of an impact here. I feel like that he's been kind of sitting on his hands and only has 1,000 damage right now and is going into a pen item right now, probably going into a Spirit Deso. But I mean, he's getting out damaged by Yamoja. The set, Wolfie, got to find the footing a little bit on the set pick. And as of right now, Mr. the Joe might get caught out, but he's just going to be able to walk away. No big deal. But I'm actually confused now, because now both ADCs are over in the left-hand lane, or over in the duo side, while the rest of the team looks like they want to fight around the Fire Giant. And I think that, you know, whoever we're able to get to group up first and take a fight, then you know, this actually might be trouble for Mr. the Joe here, as now they want to try to commit in on him here. And
yeah, Joe should just fall here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They pull the Rivers Rebuke, and Joe is just as good as dead now. And now that they don't have the Yamoja for these sustain heals here, you know, the Pteroducktyls are actually in a better spot right
backing here. I'm not a fan.
I'm not either, especially whenever we have the Fafnir ult.
And you know the Rama's not quite here yet.
Yeah, and he's able to get here and just, you know, I think he missed the course. Oh, never mind. He got him on both. It looked like he missed it on screen, but that was just for me.
And now he's going left lane instead of coming to the Fire Giant.
I'm not really sure, but now the Fire Giant is sitting at 1/4 health, and they just reset it, and a lot of damage was just taken for the side of Pteroducktyls there. They got to decide: do they want to fight? Or do they want to pull the objective? They could have finished it. There's nothing on the side of the Koalas that's going to be able to steal that objective at all. And Weiss was doing a good job of zoning and stuff like that and trying to get him out of there. But I mean, what is that Kokola going to do? I mean, in all reality, you guys could either focus and kill the Kokola.
Yeah, they're probably worried about the fight afterwards.
Yeah,
because they got the pick. They had the 4-on-5, and then the Erlang Shen just backed and made it a 4-on-4 again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They definitely have to play around their numbers, but you know, as of right now we're back to a 5-on-5 here, and the Pteroducktyls with about a 7K gold lead. You know, as crazy it may seem, the Koalas have actually been playing like really well around these team fights, and have been holding themselves together. If it wasn't for, you know, a few early picks and stuff like that, I think that they would be in a really, really good spot for this game, and maybe even be able to have their foot on the gas here a little bit, rather than, you know, having to throw that in reverse.
Yeah,
try to play back a little bit. But
this tier 1's just still showing no fear. Free.
Yeah, the Koala's still showing no fear, and just playing around these team fights, they're not letting the Ducks do whatever they want, which is really good. And now, trying to pull themselves out of this a little bit. Both T1 towers fall. We're 25 minutes in the game, so not necessarily the most valuable thing in the world, but it opens up the map for them a little bit more.
Opens up the map, and if they decide to just win a fight and push down a lane for a Phoenix and potentially end, that's a little less health and protections on the Titan.
Exactly. Absolutely. And so, I mean, as of right now...
But no one's here, and the Ducks have all the ward coverage. They're just going to start this Fire Giant.
And then they do have another Fafnir ult, which you got to be careful because now you got to reset completely. There they go. So now they're able to burn this down, and unfortunately there's no frenzy for them. And this thing is good as dead. They should learn from last time, and now they're able to burn the Fire Giant. Pretty healthy across the board still, as Weiss wants to go in.
Weiss jumps in. Everyone else just disengages.
Yeah, that's they got to make sure they're on the same page there, because that could have been a recipe for disaster for old Weiss TR there on the Sun Wukong. And as of right now they got to decide where they want to go. Do they want to go and they push this right side? They want to push mid. All of their waves are pushed up right now, so they could really just free choose on whatever they want, whether they want to sweep from right to left or left to right, because you have the Gold Fury that's coming up here shortly and being a primal. That was really good play. I mean, like we said at the beginning of this game, that if the Koalas weren't around for an objective and the Ducks are,
it's just gone.
That's an easy burn. That's easy burn. And so, and unfortunately for Koalas, there's nothing for them to steal with. And so if you're not there, then the Fire Giant is just gone. As good as that. And dead in the right is exactly what happened there.
That's why I'm not a fan of the early Discordia pick. Because if you hold on for your mid laner and you see them lock in Fafnir or double auto attacker, you can pick a Raw, Thoth, just something with secure. And then just get relatively close.
They picked it third.
Yeah.
They first picked the Kakalin.
Yeah, and then they went
the Ducks responded with Fafnir and Soul.
Yep.
And then they locked into the Discordia, which in all reality you got to expect that Soul is probably going to be going over to the mid lane.
Yeah,
especially if you get especially if they get a Fafnir pick. It's probably safe to assume that, right? As Bede's now being forced out for Bunny, and this mid T2 tower is just as good as free. Yeah. And over on the right hand side, you do have XWhiteHombrex pushing that lane and making it into a 4-on-4, which is exactly what they want, because now they don't have this solo presence from the Kakalin. And in all reality, who's going to be able to frontline for them here? Because the Umoja, if Umoja is getting dove, it's really hard to play into. And I think that the Ducks have a really good dive comp, and they're taking away the Kakalin, which helps with that front line, to where they're trying to control that line of scrimmage a little bit, but they're not able to do that if he's over there. So if I'm Koalas, I would probably have sent Wolfie over there or whatever.
Primal Fury gonna fall
to help try to combat that, which also would help give Wolfie some solo farm.
Yeah,
and still not level 20 just yet. Trying to get that online and everything like that, but as of right now, the Pteroducktyls looking really strong, and it's now that the question is that do they want to get some more items online, because they had to have had more items now, because they took gold and they've dropped a mid T2 and a left T2. So right now, I mean, they could back, and then they could focus on going towards this right hand side, trying to take down this right side tower, and then look for another Fire Giant here, which is going to be an EFG. And if the Koalas aren't able to respond, then I mean that's a really difficult defense for them.
Definitely
for Koalas, which they have a good defense with the Discordia, because Discordia Strife, just does a lot of damage in late game. But they have to get Masaki the items online, and I'm gonna be honest with you, defending with EFG or against an EFG is really, really difficult. And so, but as of right now, the Pteroducktyls just sweeping out the farm, and it does look like they want to go for this right side tower. And that's exactly the call here. I don't think the Koalas are able to defend this, but now they have to get ready for this EFG. So push up these waves, get everything ready. But as of right now, it looks like the Ducks want to go for one last little Phoenix push, if they try to see if they could catch them off guard or something, because I don't think that the Koalas were ready for it, but actually they are, as they're all hovering around this jungle. And now they're just gonna strip their farm, and
Yeah.
you know, I
I'm not a fan
so
of the Sacrificial Shroud coming out of low. I just think Blood-Soaked is so good.
Bloodsucked is really strong right now, as we are seeing a fight being broken out as the Erlang Shin taunt coming in, and as of right now, they're burning a lot of ultimates here, and for the side of the Ducks, if they're not able to get picks here, then it's gonna hurt them really hard for this upcoming EFG. They're just
Aztec
spawning
landing
roughly in
right
bot lane.
into a Strife.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things to where it'll benefit you if you're able to pull it off, but if not, then it's easier for the Koalas as we're already in their base. Fire Giant spawning in right now, EFG enhanced, and as of right now, they want to take another fight here, but it's got to be really careful because now White Ombre back in base as they are looking for a pick. Now Misaki actually probably should have died a little bit quicker, but my goodness, that was a lot of damage that just got cranked out on him there. So I mean, as of right now, neither one of these teams, of course, you don't want to pull the EFG.
No,
It's not what you. It's
not
not
in
what
a
you want to
5-on-5,
do.
especially with
Not in a
4 of your
5-on-5.
or 3 of your alts down.
Exactly, and the issue with this is, I mean, the ults are coming back up right now, no big deal. But the main thing is that you want relics, and
No beads
for
on
the
the side of Ombre, no beads on the side of Misaki.
Exactly, and as of right now, that benefits probably the Ducks more, because there's not really a whole lot of hard CC that's on the side of the Koalas that's going to stop this Erlang Shin.
Yeah, just the Strife and the potential stun from Joe.
Right, exactly. But even at the same time, it's still. I don't see a world where you would necessarily have to beads that,
Exactly.
But so like it benefits the Ducks more because now this mid laner doesn't have any actives, but they're spending time over on this left hand side instead of trying to take a fight with them, knowing that the mid laner doesn't have any beads. It doesn't make any sense to me as to
they
why
just saw Misaki use the beads when they tried to corner bait right there.
And Misaki right now beads up in about a minute now, and nobody is on this right hand side to actually push the note and actually try to take out this Discordia. No beads available, and that's almost a free kill if you hit a Fafnir hammer, and then also if you combine that with like an ultimate or something like that. Like I mean that's just free as day. And
Ordered Mess just going back to the left hand side over and over again, along with bunnytush.
Like
if you see bunnytush go to the left side, that's a free FG pull.
It's just. I just hate it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not
and
a fan
Blow's
of it.
over there now. Like, cool. The Oni Fury's up, gonna spawn, but EFG's up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this right now, but still no beads available, and now they decide to go in and take the kill here, as now the Fafnir ult is coming out, and it's just this isn't good for the Ducks here. I mean, they take out the mid laner, but now it looks like that Aztec might just die because he did use his leap already. This is just not a good play for them right now. They get the Oni Fury, sweet, but I mean, in all reality,
at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, what did it cost? Everything. Like, I mean, right now it looks like Aztec is just trying to juke his mind out right now, but that hurts them
so much
more than it hurts the Koalas. That's a 2-for-1 trade. They get Oni Fury. Okay, cool. I mean, right now Low is going to try to split push and take out this left side. AFG is now being pulled for the Koalas here, and I don't know. We'll wait and see how this one plays out here. But I'm definitely not a fan of what the Ducks did there, going for that. But in all reality, I mean, Wolf, you might be in a little bit of trouble here, as now this left side Phoenix is trying to go out, and Rama Snipes are out a little early and trying to use them onto. What is going on?
I have no idea. Rama's just gonna pick up the EFG.
Yeah, and I mean right now, okay, so the Pteroducktyls get an EFG, and the only person to not have it is Aztec. Well, now Weiss, as he's being taken out by Giller. And I guess they're going to meet up over in the mid. They could honestly just look for an end. There's 3 people down for the side of Nightly Koalas.
And an Oni Wave is walking into their Titan.
Oni Wave is walking in. They have the left side Phoenix down. They could literally just look for an end. Low for Life and Ordered Mess both have EFG on them. Low health bars across the board. They could literally just walk in Like the Oni waves are just messing up the Titan right now at a quarter health. I would just walk into the Titan room. Like, don't let them have a chance to respawn. And oh, that's a big ult coming in from Giller. And now that's a okay. So
that's
we use the
game.
Aegis on the side of the soul, and this is probably game here. Actually, it is game. The Ducks are able to take game one. My
What a
goodness,
crazy end.
my head hurts. But you know, I don't. Yeah,
Thoughts?
whatever it may be. You know, it was a really strong beginning for the side of the Pteroductyls. But towards the end, their late game shot calling just went to the birds. And it wasn't really that great. But the Koalas, where they struggled in the early, benefited them towards in the late because they were playing the map a little bit better. All the way, I mean, the Oni Fury pull into I don't know, trying to take that fight and taking out the mid laner was nice and all, but two of them die in the process. They get the Oni Fury, which I mean ended up benefiting them towards in the end, but I don't know. A lot of questionable decisions that I'm not really the biggest fan of, but I mean any team could have won that game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Any of them could have definitely taken that. So
Definitely.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna let you some water.
Here, let me what? I lost you for a second.
But I'm gonna let you speak for a little bit. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be back in a second. I just gotta get something to drink.
Yeah, that was definitely a some decisions I don't agree with at the end, but it led to a close end of game where either team could have taken it. So we will just have to wait and see how game number 2 decides to sort itself out. Honestly, the Ducks got off to a really good early game and then just kind of stalled it out, made some poor mistakes towards the end. Good play on the Koalas to be able to capitalize on that and come back to where it could have gone their way if a few things had gone differently. But definitely a good game. Excited for how game 2 is going to go now. I wouldn't be surprised if the bans had stayed the same. They might ban the Soul, or depending on if the Koalas decide to elect for first pick again. If they elect for second pick, I feel like they definitely ban the Soul from low because it was just so much trouble for them early game that they might just be like, we don't want to deal with this. Get it out, play something else. But we will just have to wait and see. I will let them know that we are ready. Or actually, no, I should wait for Ducky to get back. I'm trolling. But no, definitely a good first game. And now we will just have to wait and see how the second one goes. See if the Ducks can take it in 2 or if the Koalas force it to a game 3. I'll check to see if they're ready. Right, now we will just wait for them to load into picks and bans, and we will start working our way through that when they do. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today so far. That Mulan hover though. How'd game one go? Game one went the way of the Ducks. The Ducks had a really good dominant early game, and then there were just some. I'll say both a few mistakes from the Ducks and the Koalas stemming the bleeding really well. And it led to a close end of game where it could have gone either way. Ducky is currently stepped away, hover the Mulan again. Unless Ducky has this up on his phone, he is not currently reading chat or listening. Tell Ducky to get back. Well, it would be miraculous timing if he got back as picks and bans started. Y'all are good to start picks and bans. I'm hoping Ducky is not gone for another 10 minutes.
I'm back.
There he is.
Another 10 minutes? What do you mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't judge. I ain't here to judge you.
Joe, I wish you would ban my whole team, because after what they just did in that last game, dude, I hope you ban my team. They stunk. Anyway, get out of the chat.
Get out of the chat and get
bans.
into picks and bans.
Get into the game so we can get this thing rolling, boys. Come on, Joe. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The Ducks got a win, but in a very, very ugly fashion. Not the fan of it at all. Koalas definitely could have won that game if what had happened towards the end with that fire giant with that EFG pool. It was just like, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like one of those split second decisions, and it's completely understandable, whatever. But I think that the way that it was played across the board was just not good.
Well.
The Ducks had a nice 6 to close to 7K gold lead for like a really vast majority of the mid to late, and then they got around fire. And this is kind of what I was saying in the first, before we got into picks and bans in game one, is I was saying that their objective play is not the best, and they struggled so hard in the past to figure out what the hell they want to do around objectives. Koalas almost took advantage of it. And I think that if the Ducks continue to play the way that they did and the Koalas find out, hey, man, these guys can't really play around objectives all that well, they're just going to take it to them. And I think that we're going to find ourselves into a 3-game set. Yeah. Meanwhile, going into picks and bans here.
The sole ban that I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean.
You missed me talk about that, but yeah, I was like, they're probably just going to ban the soul. Be like, play something else. We don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's completely understandable here. And I mean, we get Artemis and Athena being taken out, Nightly Koalas dropping out the Tiamat and the Soul. Morgan Le Fay, Gilgamesh still available on the board here.
Do we think they both make it through?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm Koalas, I just do a throwaway ban. Oh yeah, you need to switch the scenes, man. By the way.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah. So, luckily, we're here, casting and saying exactly what's going on here.
Exactly. Good thing we're talking
you guys
about
if you guys are picture people, then you know exactly what's going on. As we're struggling a little bit here in production, Mammoth. But anyway, and so I mean, Odin being taken away, the Pteroducktyls taking that out. Morgan Le Fay being taken away from or on the side of Nightly Koalas is right now we're looking at Gilgamesh is available. And now the
And
Ducks are
it
going to
gets
hover
locked
and just
in.
lock that baby in. I would like to see that be going into the jungle for White Ombre, but I'm not sure exactly
Yes.
how comfortable he is for it. Gilgamesh is one of those guys who are over in the solo lane. He just doesn't really feel that great. And so, but overall in general, Gilgamesh is still a really strong pick, and I think he's a nuisance. But I think there are ways that you could play around him, and ways to shut him down. So in all reality, you can look to bait a Gilgamesh pick, which I don't know if Koalas are exactly wanting to do that here, but they did have to try to take away that soul pick, and you know now we're left with this. But some still pretty strong picks that are still available.
Yeah, I would have been a fan if they just did not ban the Morgan Le Fay, seeing that Gilgamesh wasn't banned. Kind of a you take one, we take the other kind of deal.
Right, exactly, and that was kind of my thing is if I'm the side of Koalas, you let them have whatever you let them take one and you grab the other. As we are seeing the elephant being locked in for Mr. the Joe here.
And the
You know,
Cacolin.
you know, I gotta kind of slap around Mr. the Joe here. He's played the elephant, and everybody that plays the elephant gets 2 slaps. So there you go, Joe. I gotta fly out to you. Anyway, um, but no, I mean, I think the Ganesh is gonna do like a. I mean, he could probably. I mean, Ganesh is just Ganesh.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to lock down a target and completely silence them. Um, you know, we just get a Ganesh ohm and try to go to work here. But for Gilgamesh, like I said, if it's over in the jungle, I think it'll be really strong, especially if you get a little animosity build going for him. You don't necessarily got to worry about your abilities as much. And interesting enough, the Pteroductyls are now going to lock in a Cupid here, and now Giannis being hovered and locked in for low for life here. And I think what the Ducks are trying to do right now kind of is screaming dive for me again. Because if you definitely have a Cupid and a Giannis and a Gilgamesh, I think that Cupid's able to get his hands dirty and get into these fights a little bit. And I definitely want Ordered Mess to try to find his footing in some of these fights a little bit more. And as we see in the Misaki, is going to lock in the Merlin here. And now, which still leaves ADC picks available for the Koalas, which is going to put in the question of what are the Ducks going to do here as far as the
Goodbye,
bans.
Fafnir.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Fafnir was a problem at all. I think,
and I don't think you pick Fafnir with the comp they're getting right now either.
Exactly. You have. I don't think you pick Fafnir if you're going to try to lock in a Giannis, especially whenever you have a Gilgamesh as well. Fenrir and Rama being taken away, Ymir, Fafnir being dropped away, Sobek still available for the side of the Pteroductyls or Koala, or no, Koalas already have the Ganesh.
Koalas have their support and their solo laner.
I don't know what the Ducks are going to go here for support. I'm not sure exactly. Aztecs know all what's it called, his his support pool here, but in all reality, I mean, they're gonna on her is now being locked in. I was expecting another Izanami game, but decided they want to go for this on her here. I really like the Koalas team fights. Ganesh, Kakal, and Merlin on her. Those are all really strong, and they also could kind of get their hands dirty and get in there a little bit. But right now, if I'm the Ducks, of course, I mean, you have the last 2 picks right here, so you got to get your. I would say get your solo and get your support pick, of course. Sobek's still available on the board.
Right at the end of the bank time.
Right. And now Sobek's going to be locked in as I'm saying that. And now a Wheelix being locked in for a White Ombre here is now.
Scary setup for that Wheelix ult.
Well, also at the same time, that's going to make this on her's life a living hell. Just you got to be careful on any leap. And Osiris making it into the 10th pick slot, probably going into the jungle for TheDevilsWolfPup. And maybe I don't know comfort for Wolfie here, but the set just didn't necessarily look the best for me. So if Wolfie is a little bit more comfortable with something like the Osiris, maybe being able to get away with a little bit more, being a little bit more of a bully, which I mean, set I feel like is the same way as well, right? But Osiris still really strong. they have a really good front line, in my honest opinion. Just between those two, and probably try to do their best to protect this Merlin on Misaki, because I think that Misaki played really, really well on the Discordia pick, but now getting them onto this Merlin, which I think is a more stronger pick into what they have, is going to be really good. But I mean, the Ducks have definitely like a more dive central comp here, and unfortunately, that is a Gilgamesh solo, which I don't like, and I'm not a fan of. But we're seeing Gilgamesh into the game, which is really cool, and I want to see Weiss just go off on this pick, show that we need to take out this Gilgamesh because I hate that god. But which is why I like seeing him in jungle more.
Why the god is banned.
Which is why I like having Gilgamesh in jungle more, because like it kind of shows it's like more potential. It's like, hey, this is why you get rid of this god. Over in solo, I don't see a world where the Gilgamesh is really going to be bullying out the Kokolin, if I'm being completely honest with you.
I agree.
Especially whenever he gets into that Berserker Hulk form, and like I think the Gilgamesh is gonna have a hard time into it. But I mean, because he's kind of in your face, right? Well, the same thing with Kokolin. Kokolin is really in your face. But in all reality, they thought that it would be better off for them to go over into solo. They over in duo, they do have a good kill lane just between the Sobek and the Cupid. That is a traditional kill lane, pluck into a heart bomb. And then for the nightly koalas, it's on her Ganesh, Merlin, Osiris, and over, in solo we got the Kakala. And so rounding out their drafts. I mean, I want you to talk to me a little bit here, Memos. What do you think? Who do you think won the drafting here?
Honestly, I'm thinking the Ducks did, just because of how, because the koalas are gonna want to get nice up and close with all, because you're gonna want to trap people inside the Ganesh ult, and then combo that probably with the Kokolin into Merlin damage. And
Right.
Giannis kind of just says no to that. And Giannis also just says, you're trying to get set up to where you can be in that position. Well, here we are. You're not ready. We're taking the fight to you.
Yeah, for sure. Give me just a second.
No problem. We've got a pause, and I'm not seeing anyone disconnect. I should actually check to see if I'm getting any word on the pause.
Also, so Order Mess, of course, is now DC'd.
There it is.
I think Order Mess had to reconnect there, but
yeah, that's what it's looking like.
So I'm gonna be real with you here. The Giannis pickup is, I like Giannis. Giannis is a good pick. I like Low. I think Low is a more premier mid laner over in the Loki division. I think there's a lot of really solid ones. I think Low is one of the higher ups. I wouldn't say the best, because he's had some matchups where he's kind of got I don't want to say diffed, but he hasn't looked the best on some of these matchups against other mid laners. So I think that Low is a more higher end mid laner in this league for the Loki division. But looking at the comp for the Koalas here, Giannis doesn't kill tanks.
No, he does not.
So looking at this, I mean, he kind of has no choice but just to try to get picks on this Merlin.
Yeah, nuke the Merlin, nuck the Honor.
Yeah, because you're not gonna, like, if you're sitting on your hands, you're gonna get dove by the Osiris Kokolin, and I think it's gonna be a little difficult for them. So if they play their cards right and because essentially how you want to play, Giannis and picks like Morgan and stuff like that is you kind of want to be like a secondary jungler.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get caught out by their front line at all. And you want to look for picks on their back and just be like slippery. And if you're able to do that and be a nuisance and
Heart bomb off the mark, pluck off the mark.
Yeah, and look over into solo, and it's kind of what I was talking about here. Is that I think that I don't think Gilgamesh is going to out pressure this Kakolin, and it might work for them later in the team fights, but you got to get him there. And I mean, I looked over and Weiss was really low on the HP bar there, and I was having to sit underneath this tower and let that health pot tick, but as of right now, I mean, like we were talking about drafts and stuff like that. I mean, I like the Koalas picks. They responded to the Giannis with a little bit more of the, front line tanky-ish. Now I want to see Wolfie get a little bit more of like that hybrid, to where it's a little bit harder to kill, and so that way, if they do catch out this Giannis, I mean, he's not going to kill any front line. That's just kind of how it is. So,
yeah.
Gonna
look to maybe poke him out a little bit, but on his own, never gonna kill them.
No, absolutely not. And so, but as of right now, I mean, we're about to get back on these second rotations of buffs here. Still no kills off the board right now.
Cullen might fall here for first blood.
As I say that, Weiss is able to get the first blood. And hey, do your thing, young blood. It's just, and they try to get a rotation in there, but I don't know exactly what happened, but he's able to get that first blood onto him. As now it looks like that mission to Joe going blink on Ganesh. He likes
respect.
To blink. Yeah, respect, but at the same time, I don't think he even got blink. I don't even think he got the value out of the blink with the Yamoja in game 1, let alone I don't think you're gonna get it out with Ganesh either.
No, neither do I.
And so, I mean, how many times did we see Joe blink in game 1? I totally forgot all about that on the Yamoja. But I want to say it was like 2. Like, I mean, that we saw, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, hey,
purple buff invade.
Oh.
Yana snipes just in case. Just in case something were to arise, given the Willick's a way out.
Yeah, a good way to get a way out there, but or maybe you're looking for a spicy little pick onto that on her, as right now, the Gilgamesh ult is being forced out, and God, that's slow. I tell you, that slow is brutal.
It is
this early into the game, and right now, I mean, we see TheDevilsWolfPup invading those back camps, and I mean,
might fall. Nope, lives with probably about 20 HP off that tower shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't want you back in front of a Coca-Cola that has blink that is in his rage. Come on, bud.
Not unless you've got a leap.
You don't do that.
Unless your leap is up, you do not do that. And a gank coming out from Wolfie.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good for them right there, catching out this Giannis here, who had no ultimate available, and now beads were used. For the side of low for life there, and definitely something that you just got to be careful for, keeping tabs on, and I mean, that's really good for the Koalas right now. Definitely a little bit of a different start than what they had going into last game, and so really good for them. And I think I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know which team is a little bit more early here. I would say that the Ducks are a little bit more early, just with the pressure they have to keep it Sobek, and also maybe with the Wheelix, but Osiris is able to apply quite a bit there as well.
Osiris Merlin brings a lot of pressure into the mid lane.
Yeah, and especially into Giannis, and I mean right now Wheelix this early as of right now is not going to be doing that great with the
Mannequin's
Giannis,
Crusher by the Wheelix.
Yeah, I mean, hey. I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is. As now we're seeing
boxing
an absolute
fight inside the winds of Shamash.
Buddy, as they're going
rage one off the mark.
Bars. Oh, the Yoda snipe comes in, and right now XWhiteHombrex is able to get the kill on the GillerKav, and they baited him into a fight there, I guess, and there wasn't really a whole lot he's able to do. I mean, you're drop kicking him inside that giant sand ultimate thing, and it was a good rotation.
And you're kind of just stuck once that happens.
Yeah, and I mean, as of right now, you got to be a little bit careful if I'm low here, because now you don't have an ultimate, and also at the same time, like you don't have your beads either. So definitely something to be wary of. And they're kind of exchanging blows here. I mean, I like what we're seeing over in the duo lane. And it looks like that Aztec is going to be rotating back over towards duo side. As right now, as it's looking,
Yeah, looking to get a bit of a gank off.
Yeah, no mana on this Ganesh. Definitely has to be really careful here. But looking for a purple buff right now, and it does look like the Ducks want to try to look for an invade here. And Joe might be in a little bit of trouble.
Joe might just die here once he gets plucked.
Oh, he plucks him
out of.
You know,
that's some miscommunication there, but still gonna die. Willix blinks.
You know,
solo kill in the solo lane.
I mean, hey, now they're gonna try to play protect the president with the Cupid, as he is gonna fall. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It could have just been a heart bomb, and he would have get the kill. But now Ombre taking the portal, getting a little bit of spicy here with his Giannis plays, and 3-0 right now for this Willix, and that's definitely something that you don't want to see in the early. And I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, I think that they need to communicate a little bit better there, because it looked like they hit a pluck, but it was immediately into a Cupid ult, and he pulled him out of the Cupid ult, and you know, Joe still falls. Regardless, at the end of the day, Joe still falls, and Ombre was able to get the kill onto him there, and then able to get the kill onto TheDevilsWolfPup as well. So like, it worked out for him. But also at the same time, if you want to try to help out your ADC a little bit more, you definitely got to communicate that a little bit. And I think that strictly a pluck into a heart bomb would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah,
and able to secure the kill onto Joe there. But it's just one of those things where I think that plays like that might hurt them towards in the end. So they got to be a little careful here. And as Weiss just really putting the pressure on the Giller right now.
Wolfie making the way over, though. Uses the ult to get in.
And now, oh, buddy. This almost got him there. But
and a rotation from Joe as well.
Yeah, this smells trouble for
He's
Weiss
just going to
here.
fall.
Yeah.
Oh, might get out. Oh.
I'm about to say, through the space and time.
You got to hug the wall there.
I mean, somehow, some way, Giller's able to live with like 1 HP right now, and I think that it's just a botched communication there.
Ordered Mess living on 1.
Able to get that solo kill over there in the duo lane, and it looked like that Bunny did use the ultimate, and down goes Mr. Joe off of the nice pluck into the ultimate combination there. I mean, hey. if they want to continue to put the pressure on him and stuff like that, as we see a rotation now coming in. Excuse me, that is crazy. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I apologize. But right now, as we're looking, Gold Scorpion is taken away, which kind of opens up. I don't necessarily say it would be exactly good for the Ducks, but they definitely want to put more pressure on them.
Yeah. They've got a quiet 2K gold lead on the side of the Ducks.
Yeah, it definitely is quiet there, without a doubt. Because I mean, it definitely looks like that. Like both these teams, it could go either way, and they're getting some nice rotations in across the board, over in the solo lane. But in all reality, like, you want to be playing around this Gold Fury here. You have a very, very quiet 2K gold lead. Your ADC is up probably about a level and a half, and the same thing over in solo. So your side lanes are winning pretty good right now. And as of right now, Misaki is out farming a Giannis, which is interesting.
Weird to see.
And so normally,
Snipe looks like it connects on the side onto the on her.
And that's another on her ult being forced out there, as Bunny had no beads available. And now we're going over to the solo lane, back over in the action as Weiss gets another kill. And they're over on the right-hand side, and it looks like that this Gold Fury wants to be pulled here, but they got to be really careful. They don't have the best burn in the world. And
Joe coming over here, so it's just going to be the Merlin to play defense onto the Gold Fury.
Which, I mean, this is good for Misaki, because if Misaki's able to get something here and get a kill, I mean, they're probably going to end up getting the Gold Fury, which is exactly
away the
what
Gold
happens.
Fury.
I mean, this is That's a really good play by Misaki there, able to steal the Gold Fury and almost get a kill. XWhiteHombre falls over on the right-hand side, the Devil's Wolfpup, and now this game is pretty much even again. I mean, that was a really good steal, and just able just to walk up. The thing that is like questionable about that is, you know, whenever they're over on the right-hand side and you see the Osiris rotating over, you need to have the jungle over, especially if you're trying to pull a Gold Fury this early into the game. Gold Fury hurts, you know.
Yeah.
And they had to pass it around. Cupid was really low, stuff like that, and they passed it off, and then it went straight to the Merlin, who actually ended up stealing it.
Who was like,
It's
"Oh,
just,
thank you very much. I will take this Gold Fury."
yeah, and so it's one of those things to where it's like you can either look to pull off of the gold and look to pluck the Merlin and try to, you know, get him some damage in there, or if you have the Willix over there, which is probably what was more necessary than getting a rotation, which is what happened in the last game whenever they had the Fafnir and the Duck steal.
Beautiful, Willix.
And now it looks like they want to re-engage on a fight here, as now Weiss is taking it to him. He just leaps in, and now the Dormant Pillars are being forced out here as Merlin, he's being plucked away.
Solo kill by bunnytush.
Another solo kill, and it looks like the Ducks are actually just winning this fight here, as Mr. the Joe is able to fall here. And now 4-2, 4-1 for this jungle solo right now for the side of the Pteroductyls, looking really strong.
Good pluck. Into the Willix Soul. Into
right
Feather
now,
Step. He should just die.
Giller, yeah, is just as good as dead. Be honest,
Beautiful series of plays by the Ducks there.
Yeah, you just let them have your blue buff there, bud. It's just now they get the blue and you die. So it's a little unfortunate. Now they're going to take the Scorpion. Mid tower is looking like it's getting pretty low and might just be as good as dead here. You know, they got some pretty big leads across the board right now, about 3.5, almost 4 levels in solo. Looking really strong.
A 9k XP difference.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of blew the lid off the jar.
5 levels in ADC. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the player damage numbers here. I mean, right now there's a 5k damage difference between between Weiss and between XWhiteHombre and Ordered Mess, which I'm really happy that Ordered Mess is able to actually get himself into this game a little bit more right now, because last game he had about this much damage at like 30 minutes. So, you know, this is really good for him to you know, get into this game a little bit more, and actually it looked like that it's a little bit more comfortable on the Cupid. And as of right now, I mean, looking at the net worth charts, leading the way.
That's what I was looking for.
Ordered Mess and XWhiteHombre all pretty high up there, and then there's a pretty big little drop off. And then of course at the bottom of that is Bunny. So
another solo kill
once again.
An over 2k gold lead on the ADC.
I mean, you got almost 5 full levels over in ADC right now. Level 15 at 14 minutes. The same thing with your solo lane. The Ducks have to continue to push this lead. This is exactly what happened to them in this last game, but they let them hung around, and you know, they barely were able to pull it off based off of a pull from the Nightly Koalas on an EFG, and you know, the Ducks were able to steal it. And so, I mean, as of right now, left side T1 tower looks like it's just as good as dead as it does fall. And I mean, you don't want to get picked out here.
Scary spot.
Yeah, you don't want to get picked out by yourself here, as a little bit of a missed pluck for Aztec Warrior, and now he's forced into the Sobek ult here as he's able just to get out here. And a big ultimate coming in, and right now, I mean, this is a good
Bruce facing time, not hitting a single squishy, so Misaki's just going to pick up Aztec. And they've just got to run now.
I mean, this is exactly what the Koalas wants here. I mean, the Ducks are biting off a little bit more than they could chew. They're trying to take a 3-on-4, and they don't have. I mean,
Merlin's going to get picked here. Heart bomb onto the Merlin.
the game changer, XWhiteHombre coming in, and now this fight is turning completely for the Pteroductyls here, getting kicked, dropped, slammed, pushed, shoved, Mr. the Joe into a wall and back to the fountain. As now the
double kill for XWhiteHombre as Aztec spawns, and as this Primal Fury is about to spawn.
Yeah, 7-1-2 on this Willix, 4-1-3 on this Cupid, 4-2-4 onto this Gilgamesh. I mean, the Pteroductyls are rolling right now.
They're gonna look. I would say they were posturing for that tier 2 tower without a minion wave.
The thing that they need to do is they just need to group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They don't need to get picked one by one and try to take these like weird outnumbered fights. they need to fight together.
Death
Because once
ball.
they're fighting together and they're playing around the people that have the leads and the people that are like your win factors right now, then that's whenever this game is going to be changed for them. And this is whenever they're actually going to be able to hopefully, if you're the side of the Pteroducktyls, you end this game a little quicker than what happened last game, and not let the Koalas stick around and poke and push and murk around, and you know what I mean. Like they stuck around for a really long time, given to what happened over in game 1. And right now, it looks like the Devil's Wolfpup might be in a little bit of trouble.
Forcing out the ultimate.
Yeah, the Lord of the Afterlife just being forced out, and that's pretty good if you're the side of the Ducks there, making sure that there's no ultimate there for the jungler, which definitely helps out your Cupid, stuff like that. But I mean,
honestly,
right now,
I wouldn't hate to see them walk at the Fire Giant right now.
Yeah, I mean they're still looking for a fight over here, which this is the thing that I want them to do, and they need to group up. You know what I mean? And Weiss, you got to be really careful here, because if he gets picked, like his net worth is really high right now. It's just one of those things to where you're a really big fed Gilgamesh. Now you let your team, you kind of help out your team here. They need to pull this Fire Giant if this is what they want to do. Through space and time being used. Yeah.
Really early.
I mean, it is what it is. Bunny's over on the left side. I mean, 5 levels down right now. The Ducks.
They just take the fight here.
Yeah, they take a fight here. Oh my gosh, that is a beautiful
Keep it all into Winds of
combination there.
Shamash.
Yeah, I mean, the field's love into that. I mean, you are slowed as all can be. And it looks like they want to continue this fight here. And then the dormant pillars are being forced out. And right now, they got to get in there and get into this fight. Big drop kick.
Oh, they're all just hanging out inside of Merlin damage, though.
Yeah, I'm about to say that Merlin's cranking out a lot of damage there, but not enough. As right now, the Koalas are down up 2 people right now. And Bunny over in the left-hand side. And in all reality, I mean, they could look for towers here, or they could look for a Fire Giant pull. But, it looks like they want to go ahead and take out this right side T2. Excuse me, I had to clear my voice there. A lot of talking going on.
Oh, right onto the Cupid.
It's just, Wolfie's actually doing a good job of actually trying to hold them off this T2 tower. And
Weiss is going to die.
Yeah, I mean, that gets a good, the good little bounty over to Wolfie. And it just, they're sticking around and not, like, this is what happened in the last game.
Staying too long at places. Much longer than they even need to be, much less want to be.
Well, like, the thing is that, I mean, Order Mess pulled off the like, they started tanking the right side T2. And, we're not the tankiest things in the world right now, right? And in all reality, like, they got poked out. As a minion wave was literally walking up right then and there. So,
yeah.
In all reality, you could just look to push with the minion wave. Well, then if Wolfie uses Lord of the Afterlife, then you could just turn and commit onto the Osiris and try to kill the Osiris there. But we had missed pluck, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, if we just hit abilities, I say we, if the Ducks just hit abilities, they're in a lot better spot. And the thing is that, that was a really good play by Wolfie, able to hold him off on that right side T2, able to save that for any further gold deficit, stuff like that, and able to get the kill onto this Gilgamesh, who was really, really big. And, able to pull themselves into this a little bit. Wolfie now the highest level on the team right now. And, they got to find a way to get Bunny into these team fights. 0-4 right now in this.
Yeah, Bunny's just been hyper farming in the duo lane. Knock that down to
Still,
about a 3.5 level deficit.
Yeah, about 2.5 to 3 level deficit, but it's better than the 5.5 levels that was previously.
Yeah, at one point it was a full 6 level deficit.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're the Pteroducktyls right now, you're on a clock right now, right? As we're starting to near level 20 and stuff like that, you're on a little bit of a time clock, because now we're starting.
Your lead is meaning less and less.
It's starting to kind of not really matter that much anymore, So you got to get picks where picks are worthy. You want to take out the bigger people that are on the side of the Koalas. And if you're Koalas, then you want to take out the bigger people that are on the side of the Pteroducktyls here, which is,
if you're the Ducks, you've got to focus the Merlin Osiris.
Yeah. And I mean, in all reality, you could just try to take out the Merlin here.
Yeah.
Who's literally just walking up over into that corridor there. And the thing that I want to see from Aztec is get more proactive with these plucks. I mean, you miss 100% of the plucks that you don't take, and And as I've always been told, you pluck first, ask questions later. You know what I mean? So like right now, he's going for the pluck on the Merlin there.
Flicker forced out. Lots of damage coming out onto the Willix.
And beads are being forced out as well. So now Merlin has no beads. And right now, Bunny getting involved into this fight here. As right now, I mean, Mr. the Joe getting plucked and stirred and fried. As right now, Low for Life gets the kill onto him. And, you know, right now, they're in a 4v5. And I want to see them play this objective a little bit better than what happened last time. And if you're the Koalas, you got to be a little careful here.
They've got Cupid heals. They should just heal up the Gilgamesh real quick. Weiss should just pick up these hearts.
It looks like that Ordered Mess wanted them a little bit more than he did. But Fire Giant now being pulled for the side of the Pteroducktyls here. As they do need to kind of get on this. If this is what they want and they want to pop this frenzy, then they need to get on this objective and they need to do it. But right now, it's only them two on it. And this Merlin should be as good as dead. He doesn't have his beads available, but he's able to crank out a lot of damage. And
gonna fall to low.
Get the kill with the...
But Koalas just walking in. They're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, they're all just... This is...
Low's just gonna fall here. They have to kill this.
So bad. What is going on here? The Ducks are able to get the Fire Giant, and now they just need to walk away and get out. I just... Holy smokes, that could have ended so bad. And this is kind of what I was saying. Their objective play is just
Heart bomb on the GillerKav. Volpe's gonna ult in.
Bite off more than he can chew, and it's now... I mean, what's going on? The Koalas are trying to take this fight. But the Ducks still have a little bit of an advantage with that ultimate. And now Joe's able to die in a big putt coming in on Wolfie.
Double kill for Ordered Mess.
Wolfie should be next on the menu here. As Aztec gets a... Okay.
Aztec not letting Ordered Mess get the triple kill.
As they're over trying to push up this mid wave right now. And I think this mid T1 or T2, I do apologize. Mid T2 is now going to fall. And... probably split the map here a little bit.
Ooh, Cupid ult not letting the Merlin flicker away.
Okay. I mean, we got to focus this mid T2 tower, but, you know, good poke onto him there, making sure that Merlin's not able just to step up. Right side T2.
Weiss going to take that.
Falling as well. And it looks like that they want to go for this Gold Fury here. Stripping their camps and trying to put in a little bit more work there. Now, level 20. For the side of a Wheelix, the Gilgamesh, and a Cupid now. Now Gold Fury is going to be taken out. I mean, you have 4 people that are level 20 at 23 minutes in the game.
With Fire Giant.
With Fire Giant. I mean, that's a really good... Yeah, 4 of them. Because Low ended up dying off of that. But, sorry, I got to take my headset off. I got to adjust this a little bit here. I gotta drink some more water. My voice is getting a little whew. And I got another cast to do today. Oh my goodness, dude, where is my pay raise? Anyway,
where is my extra 100 gems per week?
Yeah, I gotta play at 5, and I gotta cast at 7:30, and I'm filling in for this dude. Phoenix, come on, caster of the year, let's go. Anyway,
truly.
But as what's going on here, Gilgamesh is Weiss. Able just to take out the Scorpion, and Pyromancer now being pulled for Koalas here, which is not the most optimal thing if I'm them right now. But over on the left-hand side, I mean, there's no one from the Ducks around right now. So this is a little questionable for me. I need to be a little careful here. Yeah, so I mean, as of right now...
Weiss just looking to potentially die here.
Nah, he's got the through space and time. He's able just to get out. But if you're... Like, they're not grouping. It's so frustrating to see.
This tier 2 gonna fall.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating to see for the side of like the Ducks, just from like my bias standpoint and being an owner of this team and stuff like that. It's so frustrating to see that they're not continuously trying to push a lead and play together. Because right now they're gonna try to defend when there's 5. They're gonna try to push this a 3-on-5, which is probably not the best idea in the world right now, as they're having to force themselves out of here. Almost isn't good enough.
Yeah, Willix is pushing mid lane. Gonna pull at least one of them away.
They got to be really careful here about Weiss walking up the mid lane and getting ready to go in on here. And I mean, I don't know what's going on his mid lane right now, but I think that Wolfie's winning this trade up against the
Koalas half HP.
Hombre now. So now this is, you know, a little bit better here, but a 4-on-3. They're having to back out. A good impale up into the wall.
Through space and time, Willix picks off GillerKav.
And I mean, now we're facing a 5-on-4. They're all grouped back up right now. Left side Phoenix does fall as a portal, and now it looks like that Misaki might just fall here as well, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And Titan could be next on the lunch menu here. Missed pluck once again from Aztec as we're feather stepping onto the dormant pillars. But I mean, this is exactly the Ducks are probably just going to look for a Titan call here as a Titan dropping down to half
focus
HP.
everything onto
and this is exactly, I mean, if they don't throw it here, it is literally, it's looking pretty solid. Okay, half
Cyrus
HP,
falls to the
now
heart
missing
bomb.
the
Double
Joe,
kill for Ordered Mess again.
as the Ducks are now going to take the 2-0 victory over the Nightly Koalas.
Tries to secure the triple kill, but the Titan falls before he can.
Yeah, my goodness. Anyway, Ducks are able to take the set 2-0 here in a little bit cleaner fashion of
Little bit.
compared to game one, a little bit cleaner. But that's the win that the Ducks really needed there. And if they're side of the Nightly Koalas, I know that they had a little bit of a roster switches and stuff like that. So I mean, they're trying to find their footing again, and I think that moving towards the final few games of the season, I think that they have a lot to build off of, and maybe a couple of VOD reviews and cleaning some things up. I think they'll be in a really good spot. But that's definitely a win that the Ducks needed, and then maybe a little bit of an eye opener for the side of Koalas here.
Yeah, thankfully for the side of Koalas, it seemed like the early game was the hardest for them, and that's the easiest part to practice.
Exactly.
Because you play the early
100%.
game every game.
Right. Exactly. And I think that their mid game and their defenses and stuff like that were really strong, where it looked like that the Ducks were struggling in those departments. So I think Order Mess looked a lot more cleaner on this Cupid pick. Low looked like he struggled a little bit more on this Giannis, but had some interesting ultimates. But you know, in all reality, I think that they played just fine, and I think that both of these teams can definitely be really strong towards the end of the season. And but yeah, in all reality, congratulations to the Pteroducktyls for getting the 2-0 victory, and moving now to 4-2. And the Koalas, I believe, now are
1-5.
1-5, I believe.
Yep.
Which I think guarantees them a spot inside of the gauntlet. So now, if you're the Koalas here, you just focus on getting better each week and making sure that towards the end of the season, you're in a good spot for the gauntlet, so on and so forth, and that you know, you just continue to try to get better every single week and play your best smite, and you'll be in a good spot. Anything could happen. I mean, we saw 2 seasons ago, the team that barely slid into the playoffs with the Gladiators
Took the whole thing.
Took the whole thing, and they slid in as the 8th seed, knocked out the number 1 Game Changers, the undefeated Game Changers.
A map Game Changers.
Yeah, and they 2-0 them, and then take on and they go and they win the whole thing. So anything can happen, and I think that's the beauty of this league. And you know, and the good thing is that we're giving everybody a chance into the playoffs with this gauntlet system. So as long as they don't hang their hats onto this and they just focus on getting better every single week, I think they'll be in a really good spot. But you know, Mammoth, any final comments, questions, concerns?
You pretty much covered everything.
All right. Well, you know, everybody.
Everyone over to Valhalla League 1 because it says they're still live, and that set is Going Ghost versus Trash Panda's Thor Division.
Oh, this gonna be a really good one.
Yes.
But yeah. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been Ducky and Mammoth on the cast. Congratulations to the Pteroducktyls on the 2-0 victory. Much love. Everybody go show some love over in the Valhalla League. We're getting ready for that raid. Y'all get ready to go. Y'all have a good one. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And we'll see you guys next time.
And they are sent.
Hell yeah.